9.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Sankara FM Yendi, Castle FM Cape Coast, Laura FM Laura, and Radio Max Takoradi. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Eastern Regional Minister to seek advice from the Attorney General's office and other experts on how to deal with the construction of structures on the Peduase Mountains.
We would take advice from the experts, the Engineering Coordinating Committee, as well as the Attorney General's office on steps that will not encumber the Assembly as well as the Coordinating Council.
Details as he orders the owners to stop rocks from falling onto the road to avert a looming disaster. Also, Parliament to intervene in the non-payment of over 200 million cedis owed food supplies.
This definitely requires an invitation to the Minister for Education and the National Buffer Stock Food Company CEO to come to Parliament to explain to us exactly what is going on.
And business.
Ghana Financial Stability Fund expected to be operationalized by September this year as government moves to fast-track support for financial institutions headed by debt exchange program. We've got details on the Joy Business Report.
And later in the bulletin, who broke the heart of the Kumewu MP?
I get into a relationship and this lady leaves you and, you get yeah.
You were a preferred boy?
Yeah.
So you were a virgin?
Yes.
And the girl says, no, she doesn't want virgin?
No.
We have details of that. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Eastern Regional Minister Seth Kwame Echampong says his outfit will seek advice from the Attorney General's office and other experts on how to deal with the construction of structures on the Peduase Mountains. The minister on Wednesday afternoon ordered owners of a property there to take immediate measures to stop rocks from falling off onto the road. Motorists who use the Peduase to the Eyi-Mensa stretch of the Accra-Ebri Road have been describing its current state as a death trap.
We know that most of these decisions are going to be enforced soon. Legally, we would work with the Attorney General's office to grant us advice on the way forward and some of the actions we have to take to bring some sanity to the place. We would take advice from the experts, the Engineering Coordinating Committee, as well as the Attorney General's office on steps that will not encumber the Assembly as well as the Coordinating Council in the steps we take in bringing sanity to the place.
You heard Eastern Regional Minister Seth Kwame Echampong. The West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, has rescinded its decision to suspend the transportation of natural gas to the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, over a $13 million debt. WAPCO, in a memo to GNPC dated June 27, communicated the decision to suspend its services from July 1 after a series of negotiations between the two entities over debt arrears. But there's a fresh development in that. My colleague Samuel Imbora joins me with more. Samuel, what is the latest?
Mamesi, what we have picked from our checks is that government successfully negotiated the matter after WAPCO wrote that letter to the GNPC on June 27. What it means is that WAPCO was not able to carry out the planned suspension. So as we speak, GNPC is receiving gas from WAPCO as they used to. Besides, the $1.246 million the GNPC paid out of the $30 million debt last week, there are further discussions currently ongoing between WAPCO, GNPC, and the government to permanently resolve this debt matter going forward.
So we know that there's another negotiation that is supposed to happen today. Tell us about it.
Well, the Finance Minister and the Attorney General have started engagements with the independent power producers to address the $2 billion energy sector debt. The IPPS alone hold over $1.7 billion of the debt.
Thank you, Inbora. Now, Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament, Clement Apak, says the Minister of Education and the Chief Executive Officer of the Buffer Stock Company would be called before Parliament to answer questions on debt owed National Food Suppliers Association. Members of the association have pitched camp at the premises of the Buffer Stock Company, demanding payment of 270 million cedis for food supplied to senior high schools across the country from 2021 to 2023. The members who have spent 2 nights there say they will not leave until they are paid.
We are now getting different dimensions to an issue that we thought was much more straightforward. Yes, my own take is that this definitely requires an invitation to the Minister for Education and the National Buffer Stock Food Company CEO to come to Parliament to explain to us exactly what is going on. But what I can say is this: the information I am getting across the country indicates that if action is not taken, like it or not, we would experience challenges in as far as supply of food to the secondary schools are concerned. So the President ought to step in and make sure that these matters are resolved as soon as possible.
You heard Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament, Clement Apak. Now, some residents of Tema Community 22 are upset about the deteriorating state of their roads. No maintenance of roads has caused potholes to deepen into manholes. The asphalt has completely washed off, exposing the bare brown earth. In today's edition of Ghana's Pothole Exhibition, residents are calling on the government to pay more attention to them now and not wait for later. Jojo Kobina and Kingsley Otu have more in the following report.
Yes, sir. Driving through Tema Community 22 requires great skill and resilience. It is as though staying in your lane is prohibited in this community. Drivers would have to constantly veer off their lanes to minimize the impact of slumping into potholes and sometimes get used to slumping and bumping into what looks like craters. The rains have worsened the quality of the road. Motorists barely drive 30 meters on asphalt road and they are back to what they dread. But it hasn't always been like this. The community once enjoyed good roads. But when the road started deteriorating, authorities just looked on. Drivers get angry when the vehicles constantly squeal after jouncing into potholes.
We say we have MPs. What are they doing? Nothing. They don't do anything, I'm telling you. They don't do anything at all. Just imagine if you have a car on this road, how will you feel? If I go to shop, I buy shocks about 1,000 to 1,300. But it's like within a month, you have to go to the shop. Within a month, you have to go to the shop, which is very bad.
And there was a report by Jojo Kobina and Kingsley Otu. Sponsors of the promotion of proper sexual human rights and Ghanaian family values bill have issued a stern warning to schools and media firms to refrain from the promotion of LGBTQ-related activities. The group of MPs says some international schools operating in the country have begun the promotion of such acts in their operations, contrary to the dictates of the law. Speaking to journalists in Parliament after the conclusion of a debate on the bill, advocates Samuel Nate George and Reverend John in Team Fojo say sanctions would be meted out to any institution that promotes such acts.
There are schools in Ghana that are beginning to introduce elements of LGBTQ and CSE in their operations already. They may claim to be foreign schools, but no school can operate in Ghana outside of the remit of the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service. And so those schools should take notice that the ministry will be duly apprised of their activities and sanctions would apply accordingly.
We're also not going to take it kindly on any media that will give their media houses for advocacy, propagation or propaganda and promotion of LGBT and its related activities. It is abhorred, it is frowned upon. We want the entire media to join with us.
You had advocates of the bill Samuel Nate George and Reverend John in Team Fojo. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Kwame Enyumedu Entry, says the bill will not be hindered by legal suits. Member of Parliament for Kumeo constituency Ernest Yaoinim says his heart got broken in the university when his girlfriend left him because he was a virgin. He explained that he was a staunch Christian while in school and he had never been sexually active. This happened while he pursued his bachelor's degree at the University of Cape Coast. He spoke on Prime Morning.
You've had a broken heart before?
I'm a man.
Who broke your heart?
I'm an emotional man, so sometimes, So this was when I was in the university.
Okay.
Yes. I was a cool, queer boy, and I get into a relationship, and this lady leaves you, and you get so much.
Wait.
Yeah.
You were a queer boy.
Yeah.
So you were a virgin.
Yes.
And the girl says no, she doesn't want virgin.
No. She doesn't want it.
when she left you?
She left me like that, and I cried. Yes.
Yeah, Member of Parliament for Kumewu constituency, Ernest Iyao Enim on Prime Morning on Joy Prime. And that's it for the bulletin. In our top story, Eastern Regional Minister to seek advice from the Attorney General's office and other experts on how to deal with construction on the Peduase Mountains causing patches of rocks to fall onto the road. Business is next on the Super Morning Show.